Hello and welcome to another IELTS speaking video by Johnny IELTS. Chào mừng các bạn vào video speaking khác của Johnny IELTS nha. So in this video we'll speak mostly English of course because we are doing our regular speaking practice. This is class IELTS number 36. Except from the fact that we don't have Miss One anymore. I mean she is absent today. She will be back, don't worry. Okay, so let's go to part 1, topic number 19, shall we? 19, part 1. It's your country. Yes, 19 is about your country. Nước của các bạn. So basically talk about your country. So, Miss Kim In, please. Which part of your country do you want to live in and why? Like northern, southern, central Vietnam. Why do you want to live in there?
Actually, I want to live in mountainous area.
Oh, why? Is it because it's cool? It's cold?
Yeah, it's cold and it's cool and
you prefer the cold, do you?
Sorry?
You prefer the cold, do you?
Yeah, là nó mát thôi chứ không phải nó lạnh.
Right, so you prefer when it's cool, right? Not cold,
yes.
It's cool.
Yes. Yes.
Right, me too. I prefer when it's like cool, like for example Đà Lạt temperature.
Yeah, and the air is so fresh and I love to discover some kind of plant. Yes.
Okay, I see. So how about you, Miss Thảo? Which part of your country do you want to live in?
I like to live in Hanoi capital.
Hanoi, which is the capital of Vietnam, right?
Yes, capital of Vietnam, because it has a rich history and culture, and
it has a rich history and culture, and also
it has developed and a lot of things in recent years.
Exactly.
Such as better infrastructure.
Infrastructure. It's better infrastructure.
Better infrastructure and healthcare facilities as well as educational system.
Okay, an educational system. Very good. Educational systems. But the problem is education is not really that better. That's a problem, you see. Anyway, so Miss Na, so what makes you feel proud of Vietnam, of your country?
Yes, the thing make me feel proud my country is
proud of make me feel proud of my country.
My country is that Vietnam there are a lot of beautiful places.
Beautiful places.
Yes. This the beach, mountain, river, and so on.
A lot of rivers as well. Yes. Okay, so will you stay in Vietnam in the future, Miss Na?
Yes, I think I will stay in Vietnam in the future because I feel in Vietnam.
I feel that I belong here. You mean?
Yes,
I feel that I feel like I belong here.
I feel
That's an interesting thing.
Yes, and pressure of working pressure. I think working pressure of Vietnam less
than in other countries, you mean?
Yes. So I can experience.
I can enjoy.
Yes, I can enjoy. I can travel a lot of places.
Okay, so why there are noises in here? Okay, moment. I don't know why, but there are still noises. There must be very loud. I mean, in the background. Hình như bên na background sao ồn dữ vậy?
Em nghĩ có khi ở bên em ấy ạ.
Yes, it's your area because the noise coming from your side. I see. Okay, so Miss Kim In, please. So, will you stay in Vietnam in the future, or will you go somewhere else?
Yes, I will stay in Vietnam in the future because, I'm Vietnamese and I really close to this place, and
So you
all
feel like you're really close to this place. You feel like you
Yes.
belong to this place. You
Yes.
feel like this place it's where you should be, right?
Yes, and all of my friend and family is stay here, and
So most of my relatives are here.
my relatives are here.
Most of my
And,
relatives are here. You mean?
Yes, and I quite close to food or weather, Vietnamese food and weather. So I think I will stay in Vietnam.
You're right. I see. You stay in Vietnam. I see. How about you, Miss Thảo? What makes you feel proud of Vietnam then?
Well, I think Vietnam is a happy country, in my opinion. I think so. And so that's make I proud my country. That's my countries have there are a lot of beautiful landscape.
There are a lot of beautiful landscapes and places to visit, right?
Yeah, and places to visit. So, for example, the white place or white beaches. And the most I think I feel so proud of my country that my
Children?
country history.
My country's history. So, talking about history, Miss Thảo, do you know the history of your country well?
Actually, I know a little bit about history. Although in school we had to study history compulsory.
It's a compulsory subject, right?
Yes, and I don't know much about history because I was not fond of it.
Sorry? You were
And-
not from?
I was not fond of it. Means
You
I
are
don't
not
like-
fond of it. So, I was not fond of it. You were not fond of it. So basically you don't like it. That's what it means.
However, my maternal grandfather used to tell me about some historical
Used to
stories.
tell me stories about, right?
Yes, some historical stories and
Historical stories.
which I found that's interesting.
Right, I see. Okay, so Miss Na, do you know the history of your country well?
Actually, I don't know history of my country well, because I'm not interested in.
I'm not interested in.
I'm not interested in
History.
history subject. And I feel sometimes I feel so embarrassed because my coworker.
Embarrassed, you mean?
Yes.
Mắc cỡ.
Uh,
Embarrassed. I feel so
sometimes
embarrassed.
My coworker asked me basic question about history, and I don't know. I didn't know about
I
it.
think embarrassing is like, okay, moment. Let me check. So basically, embarrass. There's two R. Oh yeah, double R. I see. So it's double R, embarrassed, and embarrassing. So you know, one is an active and one is a passive adjective, you know. Embarrassing mang tính làm cho người khác mắc cỡ. Một cái là cảm thấy mắc cỡ, trạng thái tính từ bị động. Một cái là nó mang cái bản chất của nó là làm cho người khác mắc cỡ, tính từ chủ động. So one is like a passive adjective to describe how people feel the status or how people feel that they are embarrassed. And another one, it describes their nature or how something is embarrassing, and it causes people to feel the feeling of embarrassed. So this one, embarrassed is a passive adjective. Embarrassing is an active adjective, you know. Tính từ chủ động bị động. So you said you were embarrassed because
my coworker asked me basic
questions regarding Vietnam, right?
Yes, but I don't know. I didn't, and I said I didn't know.
Maybe it's good to read more, you know, so you can talk about it. Now, so Miss Kim Yen, please. So, which products are typical of your country? You know, typical means like something that when you talk about Vietnam, you immediately have in your mind that product. Khi nói Việt Nam, cái sản phẩm nó ngay lập tức nó xuất hiện trong đầu mình, nó là điển hình luôn á. Typical là điển hình. So basically, typical. Basically, typical basically means điển hình.
Đồ ăn có được tính trong này không?
Tính chứ. Đồ ăn là một cái sản phẩm, products. So basically, food is one of the products. So you can talk about food, you can talk about clothes, you can talk about drinks, you can talk about what else? Furniture, shoes, quần áo, ăn mặc, đồ nội thất, giày dép, anything.
Yes.
Miss Kim Yen, please. So which products are typical in your country?
Yes. Now I can think about some typical product. Nón lá or
basically nón lá. Basically
yes.
nón lá, or we call them nón lá, and basically it's a kind of cone shape. It's a cone shaped hat, right? Is it a hat? It's a kind of hat, right? It's
yes.
a cone shaped hat. Một cái dạng nón mà có hình ống, hình mà gọi là giống như cái trụ, cái cone là cái que kem á. Alright, so can you say again? So which products are typical of your country, Miss Kim Yen?
Yes. Now I can think about some typical products of my countries. Nón lá and outside. This is typical.
These are typical because you're talking about two things.
Yes,
these are typical products of my countries.
I mean, nếu mà nói về trang phục nói chung thì là dùng từ nào?
In terms of dress.
Yes. Tại vì nó bao gồm cả nón lá nữa đi.
Because if you talk about dress in clothes in general, it includes nón lá and áo dài, I think. Yeah, includes. Because the hat or nón lá, it's accessories, you know. Đồ mà accessories.
Yes.
Accessory. Nó nằm trong những cái nhóm mà gọi là đồ phụ tùng trang phục, accessories. So okay, Miss Thảo, please. So which products are typical of your country then? Aside from what Miss Simeon just said?
Well, in my countries there are varieties of typical products. For example, Trung Nguyên coffee.
Trung Nguyên coffee is basically nothing compared to Vietnamese street alley coffee, you know. hẻm, trên đường hẻm, cà phê đường hẻm. Street
Yeah.
alley.
And
Basically
bánh
street
mì.
alley, đường hẻm, cái hẻm. So basically alley, cái hẻm. So basically alley, the coffee at the alley is sometimes way better than Trung Nguyên coffee, I think. But anyway, it's typical of Vietnam, Trung Nguyên coffee now.
And bánh mì is one of the products very popular in my country, and so you can try it because have everywhere in every corner of my
So
country.
you can find it everywhere, so people can find bánh mì in every corner of the country.
Every corner of the country, and
I can
things
find bánh mì
around
at every corner of the country. Right. Anything else?
For example, in my hometown, there's have
There is.
They have green bean cake.
There is. Có.
They are.
Nó không có thêm chữ have gì đâu, tại vì có cái gì đó là there is.
There are green bean cakes in my hometown is very popular too, and it's better when you eat it with drink tea. With
Drink it
green
with
tea.
green tea. Interesting. What kind of food are you talking about?
It's green bean cake.
Ah, green bean cake. Green bean cakes. Bánh đậu xanh. I like it. Anything else? Okay, so Miss Na, which products are typical of your country then?
For me, the product is typical of my country. Typical of my country is bánh mì.
Of course.
It's
Cheap,
made
easy to eat, easy to make.
Yes.
And
It
then
made
very
from
nutritious too. Oh.
it made from bread and mixed.
It is made from freshly baked bread. Bánh mì mà vừa mới được nướng ra. Freshly baked bread. Freshly baked bread and
mix meat.
a lot of meat, vegetables, pickles. Pickle là cái kiểu á, củ kiểu, các loại đồ chua.
And
Pickles.
paste.
Say that?
Paste, pate này.
And liver paste. Liver paste là pate gan ấy. Liver là cái gan, paste là cái dạng và giống như là nó trải ra, nó phết ra được. So basically paste is a kind of thing that people can just, spread it out on bread, paste. Liver
And,
paste, pate gan.
I can eat every day. I can
Of
eat
course,
every
me too.
day.
I can eat it every day. It's beautiful. Lovely.
So delicious.
Very delicious.
Miss her honey.
Miss Henny
Henny.
is the wait, she's Miss Vietnam, right?
Universe.
Oh,
You
she's
did
a
it.
Miss Universe now.
Universe.
Miss Henny, you need to mention her name and also who she is.
She also introduced bánh mì to everyone around the world.
Of course, she should do that, and people should try it too. Because bánh mì is way better than McDonald's, way better than KFC. Okay, now so let's move on to part 2, shall we? Okay, let's do 42, part 2. Oh, describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. miêu tả một công việc hoàn hảo mà các bạn mong muốn có trong tương lai. So this is something that you would like to have in the future. This one has not happened yet. Nó chưa xảy ra nha. You should say what it is. Việc gì vậy? How you knew it. Làm thế nào bạn đã biết về công việc này? So basically, you heard about that job somewhere and you want to have it in the future. And you need to describe how you knew it, you know. Các bạn đã nghe về cái công việc này ở đâu và mình mong muốn làm nó trong tương lai. Làm thế nào? Người ta hỏi là làm thế nào bạn đã biết được về nó. Like for example, mình nghe trên một mẫu quảng cáo công việc hoặc là bạn bè rỉ tai chẳng hạn. Like for example, you heard from an advertisement or advertisement, or your friends told you about it. What it is like. Công việc đó nhìn như thế nào, nó như thế nào vậy? Explain why you think it is perfect. 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 Giải thích là tại sao bạn nghĩ công việc đó là hoàn hảo. Okay, you should talk about like the working condition, of course. Working condition, salary, the chances for promotion or career advancement, cơ hội thăng tiến, hoặc tiến lên trong con đường sự nghiệp. It basically the chances for promotion or career advancement. You should also talking about like the working environment, whether is it a good working environment or not. Cái môi trường làm việc có tốt hay không, đồng nghiệp ra sao, like colleagues. Talk about your superior, những cấp trên. Talk about colleagues, đồng nghiệp như thế nào. And everything about it. Talk about benefits as well. Benefits, những lợi ích nó có được từ công việc đó, like the benefits you can get from the job, something like that. Alright. You have part 3 of the choice of job. Part 3 nói về sự lựa chọn nghề nghiệp, công việc. What kind of job do children like? Trẻ nhỏ thích cái loại công việc như thế nào? Think about when you were children, when you were a child, what kind of job did you dream of doing in the future? Like for example, when I was a child, I dreamt of being a singer, for example. Or I wanted to be, say, a doctor or an astronaut, for example. Hồi nhỏ muốn làm gì? Làm doctor, làm phi hành gia, làm ca sĩ, vân vân, something like that. So what kind of job do children like? Yeah. Do children like to choose the same profession as their parents? Trẻ nhỏ có thích chọn cùng cái nghề nghiệp như là các cha mẹ của chúng hay không? Will people regret? Will people regret? Những âm hai nha. Regret. Will people regret about their career choices when they become older? Liệu con người có regret, có bao giờ mà hối tiếc về cái sự lựa chọn nghề nghiệp của họ khi mà họ già hơn, lớn tuổi hơn hay không? What should people consider when choosing jobs? Con người ta nên cân nhắc cái gì khi mà người ta chọn lựa các công việc? Well, this should be an easy one, yeah? So I'll give you 2 minutes. 2 phút suy nghĩ, bắt đầu. Okay, let's do it now. Now, please describe a perfect job you would like to have in the future. Miss Thảo, please. Can you start first? Yes.
So, many jobs in the world.
There are many jobs in the world.
There are many jobs in the world.
There are many jobs.
There are many
jobs in the world.
In the world are well paid, such as a teacher.
No, I don't agree. Teacher don't get paid very well.
a nurse or a scientist, and so many
Nurses
more.
or scientists or doctors? No, not really. Doctor these days, especially in Vietnam, oh, terrible.
Because I think when I was a little girl, I always want to become a tour guide in the future. Because I used to see many attractive and spectacular plays on television.
Attractive or spectacular places, you mean?
Yes, on the television, and I always set myself that in the future I want to become tour guide to discover any place around the world and knowing the history and the culture of every country in the world. And um, and I saw a lot of tour guide in the television.
On
They
television, on
on
TV, on the internet, on TV, on the internet, on the radio, on Facebook, on YouTube. Cái
on
nào mà
television
không được in
and
ra thì không dùng nhớ từ in. Everything that is not printed out, you don't use preposition in, you use on. Okay? So basically on TV.
And I saw they are so beautiful and it's like they are so beautiful and polite with the and stunning with the dress or skirts and they look so beautiful. That's
Beautiful,
I want
beautiful.
beautiful. And they go to a lot of places around the world.
A lot of places around the world.
A lot of places around the world, and I saw so many countries has different culture and different places very attractive. And I always set myself that in
You
the
always
future.
set yourself goals, right?
Chúng sẽ biết được
Oh, sorry. I think I forgot to record that part when we do part 2. That's why I was like, why is the clock not running? Tại sao cái đồng hồ nó không chạy? Oh, oops. I forgot to record the part 2 we did, and okay. Anyway, so Miss Na, please continue. So, okay. So, can you talk about that? Next questions. What should people consider when choosing jobs?
I think children like to choose the same professional as their parent, because if their for example, if their parents are a business owner, they could guide. They could be guided by.
They could be guided. They could be guided by. They could be guided
by them, and they can deeply understand.
They could have a deep
field.
understand of the profession. You mean?
Yes. So they tend to choose the same professional as their
The same
parents.
profession. The same profession.
Yes, profession as parents.
They tend to choose the same profession as their parents. You mean?
I think so.
Okay. Right, I see. Okay, Miss Kim In, please. So, what should people consider when choosing jobs then?
I think the first thing people consider when they choosing jobs is how to live with
How to live with
their
people
salary.
annoying you. How to live with people annoying you all the time.
I mean,
How to
their
deal with
salary,
bosses.
yes.
How to deal with bosses and deadlines.
Because if they want to choose desired jobs, they should live
Yes.
by themselves first.
They should live by themselves first.
Yes,
Of course.
they have to pay bills.
Pay bills.
Yes. Yeah, so I think they should consider about salary first.
They should consider
And-
salary first.
Yes.
Salary is the most important though. Who wouldn't work for money?
Yes. And then I think
Yes.
Promotion. Cơ hội thăng tiến là promote.
Promotion, the chances for promotion. The chances for future promotion. Cơ hội thăng tiến trong tương lai. The chances for future promotion.
Yes, because they don't want to stay at same level.
Nobody wants to stay in the same
in
level,
the-
same
in
job
their
for
whole
the
life.
whole life.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Nobody wants to stay in the same job for the whole life anymore, I'm sure. This is the 21st century already, 2022.
Yes.
Alright, so Miss Na, please. So, will people regret their career choice? Regret about their career choices when they become older?
I think they have.
Yes.
Yes, because I think when people become older, they can
Sorry, regret. There doesn't have a preposition. Không có giới từ ở đây.
yes,
Will people regret their career choices when they become older?
yes,
Can you try again, Miss Na?
yes, because I think when they are younger, they just care where
Where to get food, where to have entertainment.
yes, and cái nơi nào mà đưa lại cho họ được
And
nhiều tiền
wherever
trong
that
năm
can
tới
give
này.
them, wherever that can provide them the
Much money
wherever that can
temporary.
provide them much money. Yes.
temporary in temporary, but they don't ask themselves whether they want. So when they become older, they
often regret that they do
they
not do what they
often
want, do not do what their heart desires, do not do what they really wanted to do, right?
but it is too late to
A lot of the time it's too late, yes.
yes, to stop.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I see. Now, so Miss Thảo, do you agree? Will people regret their career choices when they become older? What do you think?
Well, I think as you can guess, a lot of people they don't choose at least regret their career choice when they become older. For example, so a lot of students who finish their universities course and they don't choose their major to do working, and I don't know because they feel like they don't like that job anymore.
That's me.
They are,
That was me.
and they choose another job to
They
do.
chose another one, and
And I think
well,
it's
at
quite
least, well, at
popular.
least they choose another one instead of staying in a job they don't like.
Yes.
Instead of
And
saying the same job that they don't like, at least they have the courage to change. Ít nhất là có cái lòng dũng cảm, có cái can đảm để mình thay đổi. At least they have the courage to change, you know.
and I think the Excel is very popular around the world with
Very
everybody.
popular.
Even me, I chose to become a teacher, but now I don't like to become a teacher anymore. I want to change my job, and that's the very popular. And I think people should like to be happy with their job they choose, and don't be don't be don't be
Don't feel forced. Don't be forced into a job they don't like. Don't feel forced to be in the job that they don't like. Đừng cảm thấy bị buộc phải ở trong cái công việc không thích. Don't feel forced to be in a job that they don't like.
Don't feel forced to be in the job that they don't like. And I think in the future, it's not in the future. It's now. People.
It's now or never. It's now or never. Yeah.
Do that.
Không làm bây giờ thì không làm, thì sau này không làm được đâu. It's now or never, you know. Alright, so talking about what people should consider when choosing jobs, we did that before. Okay, so let's move on to 41. So 42 we did already. Let's go to 41. Describe a time that you gave advice to others. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà các bạn cho người khác lời khuyên. Give advice to others. Be careful because advice is uncountable. Nhớ nha, advice không có đếm được nha. It's an uncountable noun. So basically, if you want to count it, you have to put piece of advice or plural form, pieces of advice. Mình phải dùng piece of advice đếm nó, hoặc là pieces of advice nếu mà số nhiều. Alright, so you should say when it was. Lúc nào vậy? Past tense, you see, trong quá khứ nè. Một cái lần bạn cho lời khuyên người khác trong quá khứ nè. To whom you gave the advice. To whom you gave the advice. Bạn cho lời khuyên ai vậy? Bạn cho ai lời khuyên vậy? What the advice was. Cái lời khuyên đó là cái gì vậy? Explain why you gave the advice. Giải thích tại sao bạn lại cho cái lời khuyên đó. And you have part 3 here. Should people prepare? Should people prepare before giving advice? Con người ta có nên chuẩn bị trước khi mà cho lời khuyên hay không? It's like, it means like sometimes people should prepare what they should talk about, you know. Like, is it the right advice? Nó có phải là một cái lời khuyên đúng không? Is it the right advice? Or is it the wrong advice? Depending on the situation. Depending on the situation. Nó tùy thuộc vào những cái tình huống đó chứ. Depending on the situation, sometimes this advice can be good, but another time it can be very bad, you know. So should people prepare before giving advice? You should give some examples as well. But don't talk about yourself, please. Talk about something general. Like, for example, when giving like relationship advice, for example, lời khuyên về các mối quan hệ chẳng hạn, it's important to know who you are talking about. What kind of relationship they are in. Trước khi nói về cho lời khuyên về cái mối quan hệ, một mối quan hệ này nọ, phải biết được mình đang nói về ai vậy. Họ đang ở trong mối quan hệ gì vậy. And whether they should be together or not. Họ có nên ở với nhau hay không. Well, you should think carefully before you give advice because sometimes it backfires. Đôi khi cẩn thận lời khuyên có khi nó phản lại. Backfire. To backfire. To backfire. So backfire. Sometimes it backfire, nó phản lại, nó phản tác dụng lại, it backfires. Like for example, if you advise that okay, I think you two should break up, tôi nghĩ chắc hai bạn nên chia tay đi. And then if they stay together, they will be like, wow, this person is advising us to split. Not good people. Không phải người tốt. So it backfire and it can hurt your relationship with them. Có thể ảnh hưởng đến mối quan hệ của mình với những người đó. So should be careful when you give advice, you know. Now, is it good to ask advice from strangers online? Liệu có tốt để mà hỏi lời khuyên từ những người lạ mặt trên mạng không? You know, people always ask for advices from people online, like should I buy these products or not? Tôi có nên mua sản phẩm này hay không? Should I trust your review or not? Tôi có nên tin tưởng cái review sản phẩm của các bạn không? Should I buy this piano? Should I do this and that? Blah blah blah. You know, people always have advice on Facebook, on social media. Always, you know, you see those things every day. Nghe mỗi ngày luôn á. Hỏi lời khuyên từ người lạ mặt, mà người lạ mặt lạ lắm nha. Tin sách cổ luôn, còn người trong nhà không hề tin. It's weird. People, a lot of time, people trust these strangers online more than their family members, you know. Alright, so the question asks you, is it good to ask advice from strangers online? Liệu có tốt để hỏi lời khuyên những người lạ mặt trên mạng không? Think about what harm they can do and what good they can do as well. Họ đem lại cái gì tốt, cái gì xấu. What are the personality? What are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? Cái tính cách, những cái tính cách của những người mà có công việc là cho người khác lời khuyên là gì vậy? Of course they have to listen well, right? Know how to listen well. Phải biết cách suy nghĩ, phải biết cách lắng nghe tích cực. Lắng nghe những cái vấn đề của người ta xong rồi cho lời khuyên mới được. You have to know how to listen. So maybe a good listener, maybe. To be a good listener, maybe should be very patient as well. Rất là kiên nhẫn, ngồi nghe hàng tiếng đồng hồ kể lể. You should be patient and listen for hours. People just blah 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 talking about their problems, and then you have to give advice. So, okay, it's up to you now to decide. Now, what are the problems if you ask too many people for advice? Có vấn đề gì không nếu mà con người ta hỏi quá nhiều người, hỏi lời khuyên từ quá nhiều người? Ta nói là lắm thầy nhiều ma. You know, so when you ask so many people for advices, people will be like, okay, I don't know your problem, but maybe I'll give just a random advice so you get out, so you just get away from my sight. Yeah, tôi không biết cái người này nhưng mà phiền quá thôi, chắc cho đại lời khuyên rồi nó xong rồi thôi cứ biến mất khỏi ánh mắt tôi đi, biến mất đi. So you get out of my sight. You know, a lot of people are like that, right? Nhiều người như vậy đó, không cần biết tình huống đâu, cứ cho đại lời khuyên. A lot of people, they just give random advice, you know, sometimes very terrible advice. And so you should talk about the harms of asking too many people for advice. Nên nói về cái tác hại của chuyện hỏi quá nhiều lời khuyên từ người khác. Có nhiều lời khuyên rất là đốt nhà luôn các bạn. Những lời khuyên về lên mối quan hệ. A lot of relationships advice, you know, just like, you know, so bad. It's just so bad. Can you give an example of a bad piece of advice? You see, piece of advice. Because advice is uncountable, so you have to use piece of advice to count it. Nhớ không? Advice không đếm được nha. Phải mượn piece of advice đếm nó nha. Các bạn hãy cho một ví dụ, một lời khuyên rất tệ được không? I can think of a bad piece of advice. Học 2-3 tháng được 6.5. Học 2-3 tháng IELTS được 6.5. Learning for 2 or 3 months IELTS get 6.5. That's a very bad piece of advice.
Yes.
Hoặc là khuyên khác đó là thôi kệ, đầu tư 100% hết, bỏ hết như một rổ đi, thắng ăn hết, thua mất hết. Like another bad piece of advice, that investment advice, put everything you have into one investment. So if you win it all, you become very rich. If you don't, you lose it all. That's a very bad piece of advice. Very terrible piece of advice, actually. Another bad piece of advice, coming to the boss and say, boss, if you don't increase my salary, I'm not working here anymore. Sếp ơi, sếp không tăng lương cho em không làm đây nữa. Bad piece of advice. Alright, I'm just joking. Now, you think about it, okay? I'll make it smaller so you can see everything. Yes. Oh no. Okay. It's too small, but you can probably see something. Okay. Alright, 2 minutes, please. Okay, let's describe a time that you gave advice to others, please. Miss Na, you first, please.
A time that I gave advice to my friend in around 5 months ago. This friend, I knew her when I enjoyed an internship program.
I joined an internship program.
Yes. She considered whether she should switch jobs because the reason I gave the advice to her advice to her because she used to experience a terrible period when working at a commercial bank in Vietnam.
Toxic working environment, huh?
Yes.
Môi trường làm việc độc hại.
Yes.
Toxic working environment.
She told me this is a toxic environment, and she hate that.
And she hated everyone there.
Là bị cái kiểu mà xếp hạng KPI ấy thầy.
Oh, and then she hated the fact that people will rank her based on the productivity. She hated to be ranked according to her productivity. Cái sức sản xuất, sức lao động bị đánh giá dựa vào sức lao động. She hated to be ranked according to her productivity. It's rate people like machines, not humans. No respect at all. Thật sự đúng nghĩa là không hề có respect chút nào. Because they consider humans just like machines.
Yes. And she feel unfair when she worked at there because
When she worked there.
Yes.
When she worked there. Quá khứ.
When she worked there, and a new offer, also a bank. Yes. But I told her that if a new place provide her a higher salary.
Oh.
Yes, and less pressure. You should go out.
Okay.
Yes. Cái tên này em không gì để nói.
Okay, that's why I gave the advice. Hơi bị quá dài rồi. It's a bit too long, I think.
Yeah.
Quá 2 phút rồi. It's more than 2 minutes for sure. Now, please, Miss Kim Yến, can you describe a time that you gave advice to others?
Yes. A while back, I have to gave advice to my friend. She is stuck in a decision to get married, and she asked me and another friend, and actually I know that I know her boyfriend, so I can give her some advice, some piece of advice,
Some pieces of advice.
some pieces of advice,
Some pieces of advice.
some pieces of advice. Yeah. And she's at that time she's not had a stable job.
She didn't have
She didn't have a stable job, and her boyfriend is quite heartless.
You mean her boyfriend was quite helpless? You mean he didn't help her at all?
No. I mean heartless. Vô tâm nghĩa.
Heartless.
Yes.
Heartless means like people who absolutely they do things that is cruel. Heartless means people who do cruel things. Những người làm những việc độc ác á, nó mới gọi là heartless nha. Còn vô tâm không phải heartless. Heartless means basically people who are không khéo léo. No, vô tâm. Who is not caring. Let's just say her not caring. Let's just say not caring enough.
Yes.
Không đủ chăm sóc, không có chăm sóc gì đó, không biết chăm sóc người khác. Đó là nó gọi là vô tâm. Basically,
Yes.
her boyfriend was not caring.
Yes. Her boyfriend.
Or you can say her boyfriend
caring.
didn't care. Her boyfriend
Yeah.
didn't care for her.
Yeah, and I can see some problem if she got married at that time. So I gave her advice, but just gave her advice, but no, I still respect her decision.
Decision.
Yeah, because something insider can know clearly, and I'm a
Sometimes the
outsider,
insiders
so
will know things clearly, but the outsiders will not.
yes,
Những người trong cuộc, insiders, they will know things clearly, but the
Yeah.
outsiders, những người ngoài cuộc, outsiders and insiders. Well, that's a good logic, you know. Right. Hình như nói xong hết part 2 không ta? Anybody else? Did I miss someone who hasn't presented their part 2?
Em
Okay, please. Thảo, please, can you describe a time that you gave advice to others?
Yes. So as I remember, last year I given an advice.
I
to
gave
my-
an advice.
I gave an advice to my friend. Due to a COVID-19 pandemic, people just stay at home, and during that time, so my friend requested me to help her to lose weight. And To make her lose her weight, I discussed her daily routine, and I realized that she was following the wrong way to losing weight. Her opinion was that for losing weight, the best way
to lose weight.
to do a lot of physical workout and do sufficient exercise every day. And based on the advice of the famous dietitian I saw on the YouTube, and I said yes.
On YouTube, not on the YouTube. On YouTube.
On YouTube, and I suggested her to change, her diet.
To change
Her diet.
To change her diet.
Firstly, not eat anything between 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Which means not dinner after. Sorry?
That's terrible. I would be hungry to death.
I mean taking dinner after 7 p.m. and not having breakfast before 7 a.m.
Okay.
And she followed my advice with determination, dedication, and discipline. And I think her change thinking of the math, and she managed to achieve the desired weight. And I think it's not only she lost weight, but I can see that she more confident and more
Active
energetic.
and more confident. I mean more
And more
active and more
active.
confident.
Yeah, and more active. And I think the reason behind advising my friends were to help her get a quality life. And I feel quite happy because my suggestion helped my friend to achieve her aim.
Her aim.
Aim.
Her aim.
Her aim.
Her aim. Her aim. There's a mosquito in my room. Có một con muỗi trong phòng mình. There's a mosquito in my room. I should kill it. How could it get into my room? Anyway, let's go to part 3. Should people prepare before giving advice? Miss Kim Yen?
Yes. I think people should prepare before
Prepare
before giving advice, because to think what they should say and what they should not say, because I know someone they ask some advice, but they actually did not need it. It just
you have to see whether people need that advice or not, right?
Yes.
So that's why you can basically, if people don't need advice and you give it, well, they will be very angry, I think.
Yeah, and
they might be angry.
Sometimes they just ask advice
to make them to reaffirm something, để mà tái khẳng định một điều gì đó. Reaffirm something. Tái khẳng định. tái khẳng định, tái đảm bảo.
Yeah, and they want people
tái đảm
that
bảo một điều gì đó.
they want
Like,
people
nhiều
that
người ta nói, người ta hỏi lời khuyên chỉ để gọi là muốn chắc chắn lại cái quyết định của họ thôi.
yeah, they
Like want to
to
reaffirm something, you know.
yes. And if a person really need advice, I think we have to think carefully, because it may
It may affect them badly if you. It may affect them
Yeah.
badly. Yeah.
Yes.
It might affect them badly if you give them wrong advice, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Thảo, please. Is it good to ask advice from strangers online? What do you think?
I think it's bring both advantages and disadvantages.
There are.
I think there are
There are both good advantages and bad advantages. I mean, good advice and bad advice, right?
There are both good advice and bad advice when you ask advice from the strangers person online.
From the strangers online, strangers. So basically,
Strangers
plural
online.
form, people.
Strangers.
Số nhiều sẵn rồi mà, strangers.
When it comes to the positive ways, I think if you are after the strangers online, that's your problems, and maybe the strangers have experience.
Sorry,
That's
không hiểu câu được rồi. I don't understand the last sentence. You're speaking
Means-
too fast again. Nói quá nhanh nha.
okay. I mean, if you ask an advice from strangers online, I mean that maybe the strangers has experience.
Maybe they have experienced that. Yeah, maybe they have experienced that.
And have the same problems like you, and maybe
Yeah, so they can give a good advice. Yeah.
yes, maybe they give you a truth or good advice that they have experience. And on the
On the other hand,
when you ask other strangers online, they don't know who are you, and they don't know your
they
problems.
don't know who you are. Không phải câu hỏi nha.
They
It's
don't
not
know
a
who you
question.
are.
It's not a question. So they don't know who you are, not who are you. You know, they don't know who you are or what you do. You know,
Okay, they don't know who you are and what is your problems, and maybe they
what your problem is. What your problem is. Không phải câu hỏi. It's not a question.
what's your problem.
They don't know what your problem is. Nói chậm chậm lại. You're speaking too fast again. Nói quá nhanh hoài, bắt hoài.
And they
Please slow
don't
down.
know,
Slow down. Hít thở.
and they don't know what is your problems is.
They
and
don't know what your problem is. They might
don't
not
know.
know what your problem is. Họ có thể không biết cái vấn đề của bạn là gì đâu. They might not know what your problem is.
And they might not know what your problem is, and maybe they will give to you the wrong solution. And that's, I think, sometimes
That's
it's
very
harm to everyone. Like for
Harm
example,
to, không có harm to nha. Harm không có giới từ đằng sau. There's no preposition after harm. It can harm everyone. It can harm everyone, not harm to everyone.
and it can harm everyone. That's nice.
Okay. All right, Miss Na, please. So, what are the personalities of people whose job is to give advice to others? What do you think?
I think the personalities of people who need to have is a good listener.
Is to be good listeners, you mean?
Yes. Because after I think after they hearing story of their friend, they need to remember it and judge objectively.
And judge objectively, yes.
Secondly, I think they need to have patience because I think when people need an advice, they will talk a long story, and
They will talk a lot. They will put up a long story.
yes,
To put up a long story.
put up ở đây, mình dùng put up ở đây.
Đặt ra, đưa ra, đặt ra. To bring out a long story. To put up a long story.
Yes, they
To put up a long story, and basically you need to listen carefully so
Yeah.
that you can give them a final advice, right?
right,
A final piece of advice.
right, yes. Okay.
I see. That's good, I think. Now, Miss Kim Yen, please. So, what are the problems if you ask too many people for advice?
I
Think about dating advice. Think about dating advice. Asking random strangers for dating advice online. Hỏi những người hoàn toàn lạ mặt và ngẫu nhiên trên mạng về những lời khuyên trong các mối quan hệ. You expect online dramas.
I think if you ask too many people for advice, you will be more confused because first they may don't have
They may not have.
experience. They may not have
The experience.
in this area, and
In that.
yeah. So I think people should choose 2 or 3 people that who have good experience and knowledge in that field, and ask them to ask them advice.
Okay, just ask advice from experts, specialists, experts. Don't ask advice from random strangers. Những người random, rất là ngẫu nhiên, những người lạ mặt ngẫu nhiên. Don't ask advice from random strangers. Don't ask advice from random strangers. Alright, so Miss Na, please. So can you give examples? An example of a bad piece of advice?
Yeah, I think the best piece of advice is when people want to invest in a stock, and
In stock không đếm được nha, nó là không đếm được. Stock is uncountable. So when people want to invest in stock,
in stock,
not a stock.
in stock, they often find a trust person to guide to how to
guide them, because you're talking about them, people.
yeah, to guide them.
To guide them, middle.
Yeah. To choose a stock. Em nghĩ là cái này là a stock là gì? Một cái cổ phiếu nào đấy. Em nghĩ là
So in that way, so stock, okay. So basically, sometimes it's countable.
yeah.
Stock. But before that, you were talking about stock in general, so it's not a stock, you know.
A stock.
Hồi nãy anh nói là cái stock mà nói chung á, cổ phiếu nói chung thì nó không đếm được. Nhưng mà bây giờ một cái cổ phiếu nào đó cụ thể thì là nó sẽ đếm được nha.
Yeah.
Okay.
To earn money, but
To earn more profit.
yes, but guider, but the guider.
What do you mean the guider? You mean the person giving advice?
Yes. Talk advise her a bet invest in a bet stock. So
she ended up losing money, right?
Yeah.
Cuối cùng thì cô ta có bị mất tiền. She ended up losing money.
Yeah.
Cô ta cuối cùng cũng bị mất tiền. She ended up to end up being something, to end up doing something. Cuối cùng thì cũng to end up losing money. She ended up losing money.
Oh, losing money. I think it is an example of bad piece of advice.
Another bad piece of advice. What else?
Thêm nữa thầy. Em nhớ
No, maybe just one example.
Yes.
Okay, let's move on. I think we have only time for, okay, maybe let's try 40, shall we? Describe a time when you felt very bored. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà bạn cảm thấy rất là chán. Be careful. Bored and boring. Remember?
Yeah.
Passive and active adjective. Tính từ chủ động bị động nè. Bored với boring. Một cái là cảm giác là bored, một cái là cái bản chất sự vật sự việc là nó boring, nó gây ra cái cảm giác bored ở người khác. So basically one is an active adjective, boring. It describes the nature or characteristic of something. But when you feel bored, which is the passive adjective. Nhớ nha, tính từ chủ động bị động. Describe a time when you felt very bored. So this is past tense, you see, past tense, quá khứ nè. Miêu tả một thời điểm mà các bạn đã cảm thấy rất là chán. You should say when it was. Thời điểm nào vậy? Who you were with. Các bạn lúc đó đã ở với ai? Where, what you were doing. Lúc đó bạn đang làm cái gì? Explain why you felt very bored. Giải thích tại sao bạn đã cảm thấy rất là chán. You have part 3 of feeling bored. When do people feel bored and why? Con người ta cảm thấy chán lúc nào và tại sao? What do people usually do when they've got nothing to do? Khi mà con người ta chẳng có gì để làm cả, thì con người ta thường làm cái gì? Do children get bored more than in the past? Why not? Trẻ con bây giờ có bị chán nhiều hơn trong quá khứ không? Tại sao không? Think about what they have every day. They have iPad, they have all the games, they have a lot of online things to keep them occupied. Để giữ cho chúng là lúc nào cũng có cái gì để làm. To keep them occupied. Để giữ cho lúc nào cũng có cái gì để làm. To keep them occupied. And on top of that, they have a lot of homework too. Có rất nhiều bài tập về nhà. Maybe not so sure if they get bored more than in the past. It's not sure, right? It's not certain. But sometimes some people do. So it depends on the situation. Nó tùy vào tình huống đó, nhưng mà phần đông thì I think là nó không có bored more than the past. It depends on the situation, but I don't think generally. I don't think children get bored more than in the past. Do you think boredom can bring some benefits? Các bạn có nghĩ là cái chuyện nhàm chán á, bị chán có thể có một số lợi ích không? Think about it. When our brain is feeling bored, it is actually a time when it becomes very creative, you know. So it becomes creative to get out of that feeling of boredom. So it forces you to think creatively, to be able to do something, to get out of that boring situation, you know. Khi mà mình bị nhàm chán, cái cảm giác nhàm chán nó tới thì là não bộ nó giống như nó kích thích để nó sáng tạo hơn, để cho mình thoát ra khỏi cái cảm giác nhàm chán đó. Nhưng đôi khi có thể nhàm chán nó đem lại cái sự sáng tạo. So maybe I think boredom can bring creativity. Boredom can bring creativity. And so it helps people to To think, you know, think more. Nên là giúp cho con người ta suy nghĩ nhiều hơn, suy nghĩ sáng tạo hơn. To think more creatively, maybe. Or maybe you can talk about when people feel bored, they can try to do things they have never done before. Khi con người ta chán, người ta sẽ thử tìm những thứ gì đó mà họ chưa từng làm bao giờ. Có thể đem những trải nghiệm mới. It can brings like more exciting experiences, enriching their life. It can enrich their experiences, làm giàu thêm các trải nghiệm của họ. Maybe. Alright, you have a minute. 1 phút thôi nha mọi người. Okay, Miss Kim Yến, you just took a vaccine. Just took vaccine shot. 3rd shot, right?
Yes.
Okay, please go take a rest now.
I thấy.
Alright, Miss Thảo, please, can you describe a time when you felt very bored? Miss Thảo, please. Your microphone? Okay.
So there have been many times when I have felt bored. It was during
bored. I have felt that I felt bored.
I felt bored. This was during the quarantines of COVID-19 pandemic, and I couldn't go out much and was getting bored sitting at home day by day. And I was always check my news feed and saw a lot of people died by COVID, and many cases against COVID, more and more. And I feel so upset about it. And I didn't know.
So upset.
And
I felt so upset about it.
And I felt so upset about it. And I always wonder when it's gone and
when it will be over. I only wonder when it will be over. You mean?
Yes. And you know, people stay at home, and because I work in the city and just stay at home alone, and I can share I cannot I miss that just stay at home alone, and I feel so bored, and sometimes I feel like depression because I stay at home too long.
Sometimes I feel depressed. Ed.
And sometimes I feel depressed because I don't have a job. I can't go to work.
Because I couldn't go to work. Because you are describing a past thing. Sometimes I felt depressed because I couldn't go to.
I couldn't go to work, and you know that's I don't have payment.
I
didn't have payment to do anything, and it was one of the most boring experience of my life. And I think,
of course, you should have a hobby. You know, you should have a hobby. Adopt a hobby so you won't feel bored. Like playing piano, playing guitar. Maybe play guitar is a good idea because guitar is cheap. You know, you should try to play guitar.
Yes.
Or maybe try playing video games. Maybe not. Yeah, why not?
I don't like to play games.
So maybe try to play an instrument, a musical instrument maybe. Alright, Miss Na, please, can you describe a time when you felt very bored?
Yeah, since around 6 months ago.
6 kéo dài chứ.
4 months.
Try to 6.
Alright, 4 months ago.
About 6 months ago.
Yeah. Em nói nhầm với 4 months.
Okay, about 4 months ago. 4 months ago.
Yes. It was time lockdown Ho Chi Minh City because the COVID-19. And that time I live alone and I work from home. And I didn't be permitted to go out.
I wasn't permitted to go out.
Yes.
Tôi đã không được cho phép đi ra ngoài. I wasn't permitted to go out.
I wasn't permitted.
So you can say you weren't allowed to go out. So I wasn't allowed or permitted to go out. Permitted, I think. Double T, right?
Yes.
Permitted. I weren't permitted to go out.
I feel that
I wasn't permitted to go out or weren't allowed to go out.
yes, I feel that at that time it was terrible for me because I am so boring. So
Wait,
bored.
I am so bored.
So bored.
Feel. I was so
Because-
bored.
Yes, because I have to
I had to.
I had to do a lot of people
What?
ý là em làm một cái việc mà nhiều lần đấy thầy.
I had to do something several times, continuously, repeatedly. I had to do things repeatedly. Tôi phải làm nhiều thứ mà lặp đi lặp lại. I had to do things repeatedly.
I had to do things repeatedly. I mean, I got up, I work and eat and sleep. Did this cycle within around 4 months?
Mhm.
Yeah, so really bored.
It's really boring because you are describing how the experience is. It's really boring.
Yeah, it's really
Cẩn thận,
boring.
dính hoài, dính boring với dính in với lại id hoài ta. Why is the problem? Oh, again, active and passive adjective, boring and bored. Okay, we need to do this one again, okay?
Yeah.
Next time. Lần sau mình phải làm lại cái chủ đề này nha.
Yeah.
We need to do this one again, 40 next time. Alright, so that's it for today.
Yeah.
Alright. Bài thi thứ 4 mình học writing nha.
Yeah.
And then we do speaking and writing on Wednesday, okay? Bye class, good night.
Bye. Bye thầy.
Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh cái đăng ký kênh đó, để mà các bạn có thể được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.